Well, ladies, welcome to day 2. We are in John 4:16 through 30. And yesterday we left off our video asking you to share with us, what does this encounter between Jesus and the Samaritan woman tell us about the way Jesus views women? And Carmen, I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ashrita. I was just, we were just talking about the passage here, and we see down at the bottom of the verses, verse 27, the disciples come back. And this is a good place to put on our first century glasses and just try to put ourselves in their shoes. What stood out to me is that they marveled he is talking to a woman.
Yeah.
And not only that, he is talking to a Samaritan woman, which shows me that this was utterly shocking back in the day. Utterly shocking, yes. So, yeah, I find it very, very interesting.
And yet Jesus does it.
Yes.
He does it. He doesn't care about social or cultural norms. He reaches out to her, and she's unnamed. We don't know her name like we know Nicodemus's name, and yet she was important to Jesus.
Oh, I like that, Ashrita. Yes. Also on this day, we would like to talk about the main points that we saw here. I think we've talked about observation, interpretation, and some of the tools we have for interpretation, but it's not always easy to find a main point. I'm finding that with some of the ladies here at our church. So, a couple main points that I pulled out of this passage is, number one, Jesus reveals himself as the Messiah. Yeah.
That's huge.
It is. And then number two, and I know that this is something that you love, this topic you love, is that true worshipers will worship in spirit and in truth. So it comes back around to the idea of spirit and worshiping him in that way.
Don't get me on my soapbox. That could be
come
like,
on.
no. But it ties back into Nicodemus too. Intellectually, he knew it. He knew truth on an intellectual level, and yet Jesus calls him to, you have to worship with spirit. You have to believe and put the pieces together, and it's only the Spirit who leads us there. I mean, there's only so far that we can go in our human flesh, in our own personal power. Spiritually speaking, it's the Spirit who leads us there, and that is the worship that Jesus seeks.
Love that. So beautifully said. You can get on your soapbox anytime. I'm good with that. I bet you ladies are too.
Well, thank you for joining us. For this video, let us know, how did you phrase the main idea for today's passage?
Yes, good question.